He's fucking the triple X.
Yeah, and the thing is, and this is the thing about people like Andrew, is just like, you can't help but love him. He's just a lovable guy. Everybody loves him.
Mate, he could stab my mum
we
like 10 times.
We hope he
still
listens in because we do love him.
Dad said he could stab my mum 10 times and I'd still love him. That's how much of a sick, mad cunt he is.
Yeah, and you're a sick, mad cunt for even suggesting that.
No, in the total sick form. Yeah, sorry, Mum. I fucking killed you twice there.
I'm sure she's listening. Hi, Audrey.
She likes Andrew as well. That's the thing. She'd probably be okay with him stabbing her.
All the girls like Andrew. Yeah, all the girls like Andrew. Now, I lived with Andrew for quite a long time. And Andrew, I think maybe Andrew should be just this mystery guy that we just talk about, but we just never actually show anything. I was
going to ask him if he wanted to come on the show, but
he should. He should. He'd be very good at it.
Fuck it, I'm not going to put a picture up on him now. People can just wonder.
You just listen to his voice. Oh, you'll be sold on his voice, ladies. Seriously.
Oh yeah, those dulcet tones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Typical Condobolin, not Condobolin, sorry, Corindai.
He's got a country boy. Yeah, he's got a bit of a country boy twang and a bit of and the slowness of the country boy in his voice.
Yeah,
like, it does.
He's a mystery bag. He's one of those mystery guys.
He makes you hang on every word. I mean, you're waiting a while for it, but I
learned a lot from that man.
It wasn't a lot, but it was something.
Yes.
Okay, we've hit the hour mark. How time flies when you're talking about something fucking stupid. Huh?
Yeah. Well, it is generation random, and we definitely fit into that category, dude. So
It's been a good episode so far.
Oh, so far so good. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to ask you this question. This is the second question that I ask everybody. What's the most imaginative insult you can give me right now? I asked my wife this today, and her answer was way too fucking quick. Way too quick.
Your wife is very good at quick answers. What did she say?
I'm going to leave it because I'm going to have her.
You want to hear my response first?
Yeah. I'm going to have her on as a guest one day.
Okay, radio. Okay, radio.
She probably will change it by then because she does.
Oh no, she shouldn't. She's always good with it. She's always good with the witty comebacks.
She has a memory like a fish. She won't remember that.
Does she?
No.
She didn't strike me as somebody who would forget things very easily.
Oh, like small things like that she'd forget. Like, cause her mind is working at 1,000 miles per hour. She's a school teacher. School teacher, she's got a 3-year-old to look after, and then she's got a fucking 34-year-old boy to look after.
Yeah.
She does everything for me but wipe my ass.
Repeat the question again. Sorry.
What's the most imaginative insult? What's the best insult you can give me right now?
Best insult? I always like the one. It's a pretty simple one, but I always like the one. Has your mum had any kids that have lived? Yeah. To me, that just seems to ring true to so many people. But it's not a very funny one. Thinking about it,
I heard.
That's right. Yeah, it's somebody is like, if somebody is just sort of like relaxing and just talking about how good of a time they're having, and I'll just go, "Are you using your left hand or your right hand for that?"
I heard the best insult the other day. And,
what's that?
It came from one of my favourite comedians.
Who's that?
Frankie Boyle.
Yep.
And he was talking to somebody in the crowd, and this kid, he wasn't great looking, but his girlfriend was absolutely fucking stunning.
Yep.
And he went, "Is that your girlfriend?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Fucking hell. Just kill her now. Give her parents something to grieve about properly."
I gotta say, dude,
fuck.
I love comedians. I love modern day comedians. Like, I used to be a big Jim Jeffries fan. And his earlier stuff was great. I love Jimmy Carr. Frankie Boyle is fantastic as well. There's another one, Bill Burr. Oh, Bill Burr, man. But insults. See,
it's different. Like, you gotta have like a slight hate in your body for a good insult, I reckon.
So. Yeah,
it's
always done with a bit of malice.
Oh yeah, and I generally a lot of my humour is insulting.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I've got one. Yeah, so,
you just thought about one.
I yelled this out in Gold Coast one time because this guy really pissed me off. I was in the car and I was with my mates, and I just yelled out, "Why don't you go home and fuck your mother some more?"
You know what? That's an old one. It's
I like
it.
To
the point. It's to the point.
It's to the point.
It's
yeah.
I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10? Yeah.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's not imaginative.
When it comes to insults, you're a hard judge.
Yeah.
I'm not good with insults.
Well, I mean,
I'm generally a nice person.
You do look like the fetus that your dad ripped
if you're
out
listening
of your mum,
to all of this podcast and listen to everything I'm saying, I feel like I'm a terrible person, like George Costanza. I am a terrible person, but I want to be nice.
All right, look, we'll leave it with this one, because it is people's
sanity that we're trying to impress.
Yeah, well, they start losing it about 1 hour, so I mean, we don't want to go further than that. But
I got to say, man, I've really enjoyed this. It made my night, and I would definitely do it again. So, Generation Random, man. Please tune in. It's a fantastic show.
Last question. What's the most ridiculous fact you know?
Ridiculous fact that I know.
Pigs.
Yep.
Can have an orgasm that lasts up to 9 hours.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you know how that works? Have you ever watched
drugs.
Black Mirror? You could ask the Prime Minister of England.
Fucking drugs.
Yeah, ask David Cameron. I'm sure he'd know.
You know any ridiculous
So
facts?
wait. Ask the question again.
Most ridiculous fact that you know.
I can tell you right now that I'm hopeless with these.
Well, you're a great guest to have on here. You've hardly answered any of these questions.
Well, I've hardly answered any of the questions. I'm more of a storyteller. Like, as soon as you talk about something, I'll tell a story.
We'll forget about that.
Yeah.
We'll go this because I'm pretty sure you got a story, and we will go over the 1 hour.
Yeah.
So the question I have, and you would be good at this, what are some unwritten laws or rules in the music industry? Some do's and don'ts. So you definitely, but they're not set in stone. But people just know.
You talking about writing music, or you're just talking about just
the industry,
the life of a musician?
Life of a musician. Is there any rules, regulations that you have to do or don't do that no one has actually said to you, "Hey, don't do this," but it's never written or put in stone, but you just know you're not allowed to do that, or you have to do that?
I think it's hard to say because there's so many different musicians that act so differently to certain situations. And
are musicians superstitious? Are there a lot of superstitious music? Yeah.
No, I mean, if anybody's superstitious in terms of being in music, it's probably me. Like, if you know what you're doing,
what's the weirdest thing?
If you know what you're doing in performing, like, then you generally go up there and just do your thing, and people respond to it, and it's fine. But I think a sense of ambiguity or irreverence or just spontaneity, I think that's a very key thing in terms of performing. It's just like being able to be spontaneous. Now, when it comes to questions, I really got to think about questions a lot of the time. I'll think about the answers, but when it comes to performing, like, if a situation arises and I think of something to do, I'll just do it. Okay, and the risk factor is totally out the window, even though there is risk factors these days. But is there an unwritten rule? Okay, I think when it comes to this, there's always a unwritten law about this. It's about gaffer tape.
Gaffer tape?
Gaffer tape. Shit you not. That thing in the music industry has saved more lives than you can actually count. It just solves so many issues. And whether it be stage crew or sound guys or lighting technicians or whatnot, anybody who works behind the scenes, they will say that gaffer tape is the shit for sure. And the one thing you can't do with gaffer tape is leave it out of a certain spot where it always needs to remain. And I'll tell you what, I've gotten into so many big fights over somebody that I've borrowed gaffer tape from, and I've put it back in a certain place, and they fucking let loose at me just because I put gaffer tape in the wrong spot.
Gaffer tape?
And you know what?
Fuck,
you know what?
know.
The reason why is because it's such a valuable asset. Seriously, if you're talking about the most valuable thing that is on stage, it's gaffer tape, without doubt. Talk about plugging gaffer tape. Seriously. Well, it seriously is, man. It saved my ass more times than I can count. It's so strange. There you go. There's a strange fact. I answered the question.
I answered the question. Right. I think we'll leave it there. But, mate, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming.
I've had a ball. Thank you very much, Chris.
I hope you...
Generation Random.
Would you like to come back? I think you've already answered that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll get back for future.
This is good for the soul.
It's a good talk, isn't it? It's what
a good
OP,
talk.
That's what OP said as well. He said after the show, he just felt lighter, lighter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, let me know anytime you need me, and I'll just. Well,
do you want to?
I've always got stories.
Do you want to give your page and your industry a little bit of a plug?
So, So I'll start off with my Facebook page. So my Facebook page is the Zac Attack, aka Zach Coombs. And I'll be doing live streaming on Facebook Live. Generally, I do it every Saturday night, and I'm looking to do it Sunday mornings so I can actually keep in touch with my American fans over there. So I'll always keep you updated with all the live shows that I do via my Facebook page and also my personal page as well. And as for the tribute shows that I work with, as of this stage, I reckon shows won't be happening until next year, but make sure that you keep up to date with all the information regarding those shows via Showtime Australia. So that's the abashow.com.au. Bee Gees Night Fever, which you can find on Facebook. That's a Facebook page, the Bee Gees Night Fever. Beatlemania on Tour, which is also on Facebook, and also BeatlemaniaOnTour.com. And what else is that? Oh, you've got the Tina Turner Show, or Tina Simply the Best. You'll find out on Facebook as well. And that's it, pretty much. Yeah.
You got a lot in your life going on at the moment, which is great. It's great.
I think if there's one thing I'd like to lead this podcast on is that if you're trying to be a working musician or an inspired musician, be somebody that you can relate to very easily. You can be an amateur musician and still have a very, very good career in music. You just got to be relatable, and you got to be reliable. And reliable musician is the biggest oxymoron in this world.
Well, there you go. Thanks very much for staying with us at Generation Random. You can go to my page, which is Generation Random Podcast. Click, give me a like, give me a follow, give me a shout, tell me how the show is, where you think we can improve, because we're working here. We're starting off. Also, leave any topics you want us to talk about. Any weird and wonderful questions you have that you want me to ask my guests in future episodes. But being that he wrote the song and recorded it, we'll get him to do the live outro out for us. So, Zach, can you give us that Life is Random intro song to end the show?
Not a problem.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Life is very random. Life is very random. Life is very random to me. Life is very random. Very, very random. Very, very random, you see. No, you cannot see, because life is very random. Life is very random to me. Oh, yeah. Life is very random to me. Random.
That page again, Generation Random Podcast. Leave a like, leave a follow. And also follow Zach, great musician. Get amongst it, people. And don't forget to hug your dog for me.